Hey there, this is Maura Neill with 365Atlanta.com. I am here in Midtown at Ecco, one of Atlanta's best-loved restaurants, known for its inventive and delicious Mediterranean fare. Named Best New Restaurant in America in 2006 by Esquire magazine, Ecco has also received 4 stars from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and a mention in the New York Times for its recycling efforts. Ecco has been receiving a lot of local attention lately for its rooftop garden. So we're here today to meet with Executive Chef Craig Richards, who's going to take us on a tour and tell us a little bit about how the garden got started, how they're using what they're growing on your plate, and his vision for the future of the garden. Now keep in mind, it's a very hot day here in Atlanta and those rooftop air conditioning units are working overtime, but we're going to go up there and take a look. Let's go to the roof.
The garden got started here in 2010. The previous chef started it with several people in kitchen staff. And it feeds into the concept of the restaurant that it's very green and sustainable. The whole garden is irrigated through runoff from our air conditioning and also from rainwater. That water collects at the bottom of the alley in the rain barrel and gets pumped up and it irrigates all of the beds. Alright, so right now we're using the garden in a few different ways. We've got a lot of things coming into bloom, but right now what we're using predominantly are squash blossoms, some Italian basil. Yesterday we just planted some opal basil, which we'll be using a lot of. But I think what's going to happen is everything's going to come at one time. We've got tomatoes, various kinds of peppers, different kinds of pole beans, field peas, different things like that. So I think once all these things come together, we'll be using quite a bit of them on the menu. So right now we're using squash blossoms on the menu, and as you can see here, they're blossoms that come off the top of the squash. And they come in very different kinds of squash. So what we do is we'll harvest these, we take out the stamens, and then they act as a great little parcel for our filling, which is mozzarella that we make here in-house, a little bit of ricotta, some anchovy, black pepper. You wrap the leaves up around the filling, it sticks very nicely. We basically dip them in a very simple tempura batter and fry them. So you get this wonderful crispy outside and the cheese melting and nice and gooey on the inside. Yeah, I'd like to eventually put more beds on the roof. I think we've got enough room for about 3 more beds. And maybe even figure out a way to winterize the beds so that we can use them all year round. What I envision, and I don't know if it's going to happen this summer, maybe next year, is using the produce that we get from the roof to be about 8 to 10% of the total produce we're using in the kitchen. So, you know, that's our goal, and that's what I'd like to see next year.
Thank you for joining me for my tour of Ecco's rooftop garden with Executive Chef Craig Richards. Next time you come for a meal at Ecco, be sure to ask your server what on your plate has come straight from the roof. And of course, go to 365Atlanta.com for great things to do all around the Atlanta area. See you there!